likable.
Okay. If you want to broker contracts, that's one thing. If you want to broker contracts and also be a specialist in something, then that's going to put you in a better position for the 8A in the long run.
Right.
If you just straight broker, the 8A program is not for brokers. So if there's something you really like to do, or you're an expert in a certain field and you would like to sell that to the government, I wouldn't suggest you do something you don't like, obviously. This should
Right.
it should be something you enjoy. But if that's the case, then you should specialize in that area and then broker on the side. For example,
Okay.
I got a client, his kid's been with me for about a year now. When he originally called me, and I'm talking working out of his grandmother's basement, he saw the movie War Dogs. He's like, dude, dog, man, I want to do that, man. I want to be a war dog. And I'm thinking, the kid's broke. He's living with his grandmother in the basement. How is he going to, be a successful government contractor? But that was just a thought in the back of my mind. I would never doubt anyone. If they have the drive and the determination to do it, I'm not going to tell them no. And I'm glad I didn't, because the kid's doing $100,000 a year now.
Wow.
It's just a matter of wanting it bad enough. But he, I told him you should be a specialist. You should specialize in something. And you don't have to decide that right this minute or today or even this week or this month. You could figure it out over the next month or two and start working on it. As long as we got that in place in the next 6 months. So a year from now, you'll qualify for the 8A.
Right.
All right. Now, if I remember correctly, your email said you're strapped. You really have no money to invest in this.
Yes.
Okay. That's all right. Neither did he. He was able to qualify for BHAF. We have a program where we finance our clients. If you qualify, you don't have to have a really awesome credit score. Matter of fact, when they do the first check, it's a soft check. They don't even check your credit score.
Mm.
If you can qualify for BHAF, that'll finance your services. You may qualify for enough with BHAF to even have money left over to use towards your first contract. If not, there are ways to get contracts financed as long as they're big enough. Okay. If you can get a contract over 200 and 250,000, there's companies out there that'll finance it all day long because they can put an surety bond on it and they're guaranteed to be paid.
Okay.
If it's under 250,000, you're going to have to figure out a way to either support the first payment, finance the first payment, or you're going to have to do what's called invoice factoring. And invoice factoring is where you submit an invoice to the government to get paid. Okay.
Mm.
This company will go ahead and pay you on that invoice immediately. And then when you actually receive the payment from the government, you pay them the money back, plus a little bit of interest. That makes sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So they'll finance it, and you just, you got to spend a couple of % off of each invoice to make it finance, but that'll cover you for 30 days. If not, all you have to do literally, like let's say you're doing a 5-year contract, all right, and they're going to pay you every month. Well, that first month, you're going to have to do the work or provide the service or order the product, pay for it out of pocket, ship it, wait 30 days, 15 to 30 days to get paid by the government, okay?
Yeah.
But after that, the company who's supplying you will more than likely give you net 60 or net 90 terms. So you won't be out of pocket after the second month. You follow?
Right. Yeah.
All right. So that's a couple options we have. You can either make payments on our services, or I can get you over to Angela, see if you qualify for BHAF, and we'll finance you. Fair enough?
All right. Yeah.
Did you have any other questions at this point?
The broker route.
Yes.
Does that require money also to be able to just subcontract it out to somewhere that has the products?
It depends. If your sub gives you terms, right, then you're good. Mm-hmm. So let's say you win a janitorial contract, and you, of course, reached out to 3 or 4 janitorial companies to get a quote. to make sure that you got enough people, enough quotes to, to be able to provide the service. You don't want to just get one quote from one company and then win the contract and then have that company say, well, we can't do it now. Then you're screwed. You get 3 or 4 quotes from 3 or 4 different janitorial companies. If the quotes are roughly the same, they're all giving you a fair price. If 3 of them are the same and one of them's too high or too low, then they're highballing or lowballing you. But you go with the higher quote. Long story short, when you win it, you go back to those four janitorial companies and say, hey, I won this contract, but I need you to give me net 30. So that janitorial company is going to do the work for you. They're going to invoice you. You're going to invoice the government. And when the government pays you, you'll pay the janitorial company. All right?
All right.
If they don't agree with that, if none of them agree with it, usually one of them will take you up on it because they want to win the contract. Or you can say, hey, Chuck in a truck down the road here told me he'd give me net 20. Will you give me net 30? If you give me net 30, I'll give you the contract. It's a 5-year contract. All right? If you want it, just give me net 30 and it's yours. If not, and you can't find anybody who will do that, then you're going to have to finance that first month. All right? So if it's 10 grand that you have to pay them for the first month to do the job, we're going to have to figure out a way to get you that 10 grand, whether it be through Behalf or through invoice factoring, or if it's big enough, like I said, if it's over 250,000, if it's a 5-year contract, it's going to be over 250,000. There's companies that'll finance it all day long for 5 to 7%. So you just got to make sure when you mark it up at least 25, 30%, so you can afford to pay the finance company 5 to 7. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you a veteran?
Yes.
Service disabled?
I've got my appointment coming up with my with the VA, and I'm gonna find out.
That's fine. As long as you're in the process, and I would do anything for a veteran, man. I truly appreciate you guys. I really do. I have the utmost respect for any man or woman that's ever served this country in any way, shape, or fashion. And you guys put your lives on the line, and for my freedom, so I can do what I do, and I love my freedom. So thank you.
You're welcome.
If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to have Angela follow up with you, run you through Behalf real quick. Just takes a couple minutes, see if you qualify. Worst case scenario, you don't. It's soft check, doesn't affect your credit. All right?
All right.
All right, one moment. Actually,
Thanks.
You're logged into the meeting. I can't transfer you. I'm going to have her call you right back. What's the best number to reach you?
631 532
Okay.
9840.
Meanwhile, a couple of things, just right off the bat. On your email, you need to include a signature line. Put your name, company, phone number, minimum.
All right.
All right. When you communicate people, if you want to do business, you need to make it as easy for them to reach out to you as possible. So definitely have your contact number on there. All right.
All right.
You got it, man. Angela's going to call you here in a minute.
Thanks, John.
Hey, you can thank me after you win your first contract, man. You'll hear me say it every day. All right.
All right.
You got it.
Bye.